What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new, my name is Evan and I make videos about hot stocks, dividends, and options. So if that interests you guys, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. So as you can see, I have NIO pulled up again. So we're going over why NIO continues to go up despite any major news coming out for NIO. But before we get into why their stock price keeps going up, I was curious whether you guys want me to cover any other stocks or any other companies, because I've had a suggestion to do Virgin Galactic, and I know a lot of people are fans of Tesla and Workhorse. So if you guys have any suggestions for a company that you want me to cover, just leave a comment down below. And if enough people want me to cover that company, I'll definitely make a video on a certain company that you guys choose. But everybody's seeming to like these NIO updates, so I'm going to keep putting out NIO videos as long as everybody's still enjoying them. But if you guys aren't enjoying these videos, just leave a comment and let me know what you want me to cover instead. But with that out of the way, as you can see today, NIO is up almost 5% again. It seems like every day they keep increasing and keep hitting these new highs. Although they're not at a high today, they almost hit a high. They got up to $20.37 and then they kind of tapered back down and evened out around $19.50 to $20, and they've kind of been bouncing around that area today. So just like I showed you with NIO's price on the chart, it also says here that NIO was trading higher today, which is Tuesday, which is also a day after NIO announced that they were doing a secondary stock offering. And they ended up doing the stock offering at a discount of what they should have, because the price of NIO on Friday at close was $18.50, but they sold a large amount of shares at $17. But even after this somewhat of a disappointment in the price that they sold the shares for, they're still up almost 4% the day after that happened. And NIO yesterday on Monday opened up lower because of this reduced price that they sold the shares for. They sold them at $1.50 lower than Friday's closing price. And it says here that this possibly suggested to investors that NIO's bankers may have needed to sweeten the deal in order to sell the shares. So this could somewhat explain why they didn't quite sell them at $18.50, but selling the amount of shares that they sold, which was I believe 88.5 million shares, when you reduce the price by $1.50 times that many shares, that's a pretty large difference in the price that you could receive. And they originally only planned to sell 75 million shares, but they ended up selling 88.5 million, which was about 20% more than they planned. So I guess selling these shares at a slight discount of a price somewhat makes up for it, because they sold about 20% more shares than they originally planned. Now, another possible reason why NIO is up today is because a lot of investors know that NIO is going to begin delivery of the latest model that they have, which is the EC6. So this could be somewhat of a reason why the stock price is up slightly today. But I think the main reason is because of this offering of shares, and because they dropped slightly yesterday, especially around open. I think this was just kind of a slight bounce back from what happened yesterday on a slight decline. Now they're somewhat recovered from yesterday. And part of the reason why they declined slightly yesterday was because of this offering that somewhere between $1 billion and $1.5 billion from the large amount of shares that were sold. But the bank's investors somewhat hesitated because they didn't really know exactly what NIO was planning on doing with all this money. Now, it should also be noted that NIO almost ran out of cash earlier in the year. And then they made this deal to raise about $1 billion from economic development authorities, which is located in China. And in exchange for this, they gave up a 24.1% stake in their Chinese assets. So NIO basically created a subsidiary to hold these assets, and then NIO ends up owning 75.9% of this. And they also refer to this as NIO China, and then the investors get the other portion, which ends up being 24.1%. So of this $1 billion that they're raising from selling these shares, the main goal is to increase their stake in NIO China, which is this subsidiary. And then what's left over that they don't spend to increase their stake is going to go back to investors to buy back more shares of NIO. And if everything runs smoothly and goes as planned, NIO and their American investors will end up owning 86.4% of NIO China. And then the company will end up having approximately $1 billion in new capital. So there's not a lot of companies that just increase their capital by $1 billion in this short of a time period. So if they use this $1 billion and they're funding the business for NIO, this should theoretically lead to more growth, and more growth in the company leads to more sales, and more sales leads to an increase in the share price because more people are buying their vehicles. So this is obviously a pretty bullish sign, and it's something good for NIO to happen because they're kind of going to be beefing up their company, which should lead to a higher share price, and that would lead to more people investing in NIO if they can see that their price isn't just this penny stock as some people might see them as, because they're very cheap. Now I know they're not a penny stock, they're not in this low couple dollar range, but a lot of investors think that they're too low and that they don't have enough history to invest in. But a lot of people thought a very similar way with Tesla. When Tesla was first around the $100, $200 range, many investors didn't think they would go much above that. And now they just did this 5-for-1 stock split, and they're up over 74% just in August. And that could also be part of the reason why NIO has been somewhat going up lately, because as Tesla goes up, a lot of investors want to see what the next Tesla could be. And a lot of people think it's NIO, Workhorse, or some of these other EV companies. They want to get in before the price skyrockets and they want to secure those gains. But now that a lot of investors have had the time to look over what NIO's plans are with this money, I think it's a pretty good thing, and a lot of people are going to be very bullish on NIO in the near future. So I want to hear what you guys have to say down in the comments. Do you think right now is a good time to buy into NIO because they're approaching all-time highs? Or do you think it would be smart to hold off and possibly buy when it pulls back a little bit? That is, if it pulls back at all. I mean, it could keep going up, but I personally think it'll pull back a little bit. Well, let me know what you guys think will happen down in the comments. Also, like I mentioned earlier, if you guys have any suggestions for new video ideas or new companies to cover, let me know. I mean, I'm fine with covering NIO, but if you guys want to see something new, just let me know. Also, if you guys enjoyed the video, I would really appreciate it if you hit the like button. It really does help out the channel. And with that said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you back here in the next one.